Hey guys, what's up? We're back and we're in the studio. As you can see, I haven't done this in person in so long. I was just telling Rachel here, it feels weird.
So excited.
Right, it's so good to see. I haven't seen you in what, three months since the COVID, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while. So it's nice to see her beautiful face in the place. You know what I mean? I'll drink to that. It is relationships, romance, and propaganda podcast. I am film director Imani Shakur. This is the beautiful author, actress Rachel K. Burke. These are her books, Sound Bites, A Rock and Roll Love Story, and Love Bites. Check these out. Even though you're not in quarantine anymore, a lot of you, still check these out.
To read on the plane.
Exactly. We expose the truth and broadcast the lies every week. We are the sexiest relationship podcast on the planet, and we're going to jump right into it. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, ISNT Group Digital, and hit that notification button. And continue to listen where you get your podcast. We thank you. And today, before we get into what Rachel's been up to, we're going to talk about why do men suddenly pull away. That's what we're going to talk about today on this beautiful day back in the studio. So what's up, Rach?
Yeah, it's a popular subject. I remember when I went going through breakups and stuff, I would watch YouTube videos about this.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Yeah, there's this guy, Coach Lee, that does all these YouTube. He's super famous on YouTube, and it's all kind of the same stuff, but he gets crazy hits.
Coach Lee?
Coach Lee,
okay.
yeah.
I've never heard of Coach Lee.
Yeah, it's all about breakups and why men pull away, and if someone breaks up with you, don't contact them. And and it's so funny. I went home last summer and this girl had just got dumped, and I was like, oh yeah, I was watching this guy's YouTube videos, and she was like, Coach Lee, and I was like, yes. So she watched it too. I think all these women going through breakups were researching, advice.
That's crazy. So what's going on with you and your guys? So I have a girlfriend now.
Right, and I don't.
What do you mean? What happened? What happened? So you...
I don't know. He keeps trying to break up with me, but not really. And then actually, officially, as of 2 days ago, because he's just a mess. He's in AA.
You told me that.
He's bipolar. So it's one day he'll be like, I think I just I need more time to myself so I can work on me. And I'm like, yeah, you do. So remember when you asked me, you were like, okay, if he asked you to be his girlfriend, what would you say?
Yeah.
And I said to you, I would tell him he's not ready.
Okay.
Because I knew this whole time, I'm like, he's not ready for this. He's only been sober a year, which is not that long. Mm-hmm. And he still just has these massive mood swings.
Right.
So I knew he wasn't ready, but he just started calling me his girlfriend. We didn't have this conversation.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? He's told his mom about me. He's told all his people in the meetings. All right. But I've been waiting. Waiting for the axe to fall,
Yeah.
So I'm he's doing this thing that guys always do where they rush in. And all of a sudden, they pull away.
That's one of the first notes I have. Yep.
Yeah. So
was it 3 months though? Because I always talk about this 3 month rule.
Was
it about 3 months?
It's been 2.5 probably.
Yeah, see, almost.
Or a little over 2.
Where the dust settles, as I say.
Yeah, I always say between 2 and 3. Yeah.
That's when the dust settles, and you're
yeah. So all of a sudden, probably 2 weeks ago, I just started feeling weird. I don't know, he left one day and I was just kind of I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
I just wasn't
So you broke up with him?
No, I think we both just felt this disconnect.
Okay.
I don't know if I was feeling it because he was feeling disconnected or if he felt it because I was feeling it. But he left one day and I just remember thinking I don't need to see him this week. I wasn't feeling it for some reason, and I can't quite.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot with the mood swings, and the mood swings affect our sex life, and then that's not there, and so it was just sort of this disconnect I was feeling. So, yeah, the past probably week or two, I started feeling weird, and because he had told me, a couple weeks ago, he was like, "I really like you. I just I'm overwhelmed because I have all the, I have my business and my AA meetings and my music." And I was like, yeah. Let's see each other less. Totally.
Right.
Do you?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, 2 days ago, he comes over and he's like, so I got to tell you something. And I was like, okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And he was like, so he ends up telling me, and he kind of had said something about this one night, but he was in like one of the weird modes where he kind of I don't know, when he gets in like bad mood swings, he kind of talks nonsense. So
Yeah.
he ends up telling me that he's only been with 3 women his entire life, and I'm one of them.
What? He's been with only 2 others before. Holy macaroni.
Yeah.
I didn't want to curse. I said holy macaroni. I was about to say holy.
Dad, it's like
you know what?
Like a dad saying. So, because he was with a girl before me for 5 years.
Okay.
And then after that, he wasn't with a woman for almost 7 years. Like, 'cause he became an alcoholic and he had issues. And, you know, he's got self-esteem issues and everything. So he was like, you know, he's like, I just feel like so insecure because you have all this experience. And like, I don't have a lot of experience. And like, I'm like, are you trying to say like you want to sleep with other people?
Yeah.
Like, then just say it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I just feel like inadequate. I feel like I'm inexperienced.
Like you were too much for him. He was intimidated.
Yeah.
Which we talk about a lot with you, men being very intimidated.
I know, but he's been so cool up until now, like considering where we're at in life, you know what I mean? 'Cause I'm like, he's like living in a music studio. I like, you know, like have a nice house, a nice car, like, you know, definitely different places.
Yeah.
But he was cool about it, so I was like, all right, whatever, he's not intimidated. Yeah, he got intimidated. So I was like, okay, you know, if you want to go sleep with other people, go sleep with other people, right? Like, so Imani, this is the same thing that happened with my ex. Remember I told you like when he like just because my ex was the same. It's like he married the second woman he was ever in a relationship with. And so I think he had all of this like felt like he never got to really experience things.
Yeah.
So remember I told you he got like obsessed with the idea of like having a threesome and like being with other women. And so when I went to London, I was like, cool, let's take a break. Go sleep with whoever you want.
Right.
And then he didn't. And then I did, and he went ballistic.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
So I told this guy, I'm like, this is like my ex all over again. I'm like, you think you want this, go for it. You're not going to do it. You know he's going to come back around and just be like. And
so was that it? That he wants to sleep with other people? That's what it was?
Part of it. And so what I think, and this is what I want to talk to you about, every relationship that I have been in, men do this where at the 2-month mark, roughly, they all of a sudden pull back because it's like that's the point when it starts to get serious. And I think men feel like, it's like they feel like their independence is getting taken away. Because that's what like he has said. It's like, he's like, I have all these things going on. But I'm like, I give him so much space. Like, I never call him. I never ask him to hang out. I didn't hear from him all weekend, and I didn't call him once. Because I was like, he needs a space. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, I'm not smothering you. I'm not interfering with your life whatsoever. If you don't have enough time for you, it's because you're doing that. You're making those plans
exactly. Because you're not tripping on it. You're giving him space.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not the first time this has happened, though. This happens with every relationship I'm in, where the guys, it's like, they jump in head first, and then about 2 months in, all of a sudden they backpedal, and they're like, and they freak out. So like, I wanted your opinion, and like maybe you don't do this, but maybe you've seen it, or maybe you have some male intel into why this happens. Because I remember in Boston this happened too. It's like my ex was like head over heels, we dove in. And like we were together all the time, and then 2 months in, he cheated on me with his ex. And, like freaked out. And like they always come back around, you know what I mean? That's why I'm not like stressing this guy, because I'm like, I'm sure he'll, like, he'll be back. But what is your opinion on why men do that?
I think it's very much what you said. We go in hot because we like the physicality of it, and we think we're all in lust, and we mistake it for in love. And then when the lust wears out, we realize it was just lust. We're not in love, and we go, I think I want to go over here. I mean, which is one of the reasons why I'm very careful. I mean, and I can relate it to me. I was seeing this one girl, and and I always take my time,
which is smart,
and not do that. Even though she was very attractive, nice figure, liked everything about her, I made sure I kept my energy the same and took my time. And she was the one that was on 10 and I was on 5.
Right.
And then at the end, when I said, hey, I'm moving on, she was all bent out of shape. But I had to remind her, I said, hey, if you notice, when you would say this, I would say this. I said, you were always on 10 when I kept telling you that I was on 5.
Yeah, she wasn't matching your
and I
energy.
need time to get on 10.
Right.
And then she took it all personal. And then when I reminded her, like, hey, remember, I was always on 5. I needed time. She said, you know what, you're right, and I'm sorry. Because I did. I made sure that I didn't go in hot like I see a lot of my other friends do, and then fall in love. No, I really don't like her. I thought I loved. No, I don't. And then boom, they're out.
Right.
So, to me, the number one reason is that because guys are like very physical, right? So if you don't stimulate us mentally in other ways besides the physical, that's really what we fall in love with.
Right.
The physical has to be there too, but we also fall in love with everything else.
Yeah.
So everything else is not there. It's easy for us to think we're in love, but it was lust. But everything else that's not the physical is what actually makes us fall in love.
Right.
Then we stay. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing about that.
So I think with you, real quick before I can cut you off, I think with you, I think you're so fly. Men like the physicality a lot.
Right.
And they dive in and you're so cool. And then they think they're in love and then they either get intimidated and they go, oh shit. I mean, they go, oh snap. I can edit that out.
Yeah.
Beep it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think with you that's honestly what happens. You know, for me, I've been with so many beautiful women. It doesn't really bother me, but I remember the first time we met at Bungalow, and you walked in, and I was like, "Holy crap, is that her?" You know what I mean? But quickly, I was like, "Okay, Imani, this is work, and you've had this before." Because I've had really beautiful women before, so I'm over it.
Yeah.
Now, once I'm past that, I look for everything else, and I make sure I don't let that get in the way to make me touch and go.
Right.
And be like, oh my God, touch, and then I'm gone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The interesting thing is when this happens to me, they normally come back around. So it's not just like lust, hooked up with her, okay, I'm not into her, bye. It's like this weird thing because my ex in Boston did this too. He cheated on me and then totally regretted it.
Right.
And then had to get me back. It's almost like they want to mess it up so that they can win you back, like in the movies. You know what I mean? When the guy like screws it up and he messes it up and then like he has to win the woman back because that's exciting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did, that it did happen. I think the only time like he didn't come back around was like the guy last summer. Remember that I told you I dated? And he was like, wanted to be together all the time. He was like way too much too soon.
Right.
But he was like, he was rebounding, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he didn't, he's the only one that like didn't really come back around.
Right.
But yeah,
So to answer your question, I just if I could further, I think men are not patient.
Okay.
And instead of being patient and taking their time to make sure it's everything they want.
Right.
We're so physical, we go in fast, it sends you the wrong signal, and we haven't made a true assessment yet. And then as soon as we do, and we go, oh no, I like her, she's hot, the sex is great, but I don't really want to do this, then we go boom.
Right.
So I think our problem is lack of patience.
But what's your opinion on guys that like freak out, pull away, but then they actually end up coming back around because they do like you? Like, what is that about?
That's a good question. It's probably because they realize that what they thought wasn't there was there. Then they go and they go, wait a minute, but she was really cool though. This actually happened to me. So you go, she was really cool though.
Like what I did.
But in my case, I didn't touch and go. I still played it safe and walked away.
Okay.
And then went, she was kind of cool though. I want to see her again.
Yeah.
I think I made a mistake here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's
feel
just making a mistake and just making the wrong decision.
Because I think what's freaking this guy out is that he wasn't with a woman for almost 7 years.
Right.
And I'm like, the first, I mean, he's had opportunities and stuff, obviously, but like nobody he was into.
Right.
But I'm the first girl that he was intimate with.
In a long time, yeah.
A long time. And so he just jumped right in, I think, and now I think he's thinking like, should I explore other options? Like, see what's out there? Because I think he just feels like he jumped into this without really dating, without sleeping with people, without getting, like, experience and, like, a point of...
How old is this guy? I mean...
They're almost 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I always say, once you have a Ferrari 458, why do you need another one?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? They're going to drive basically the same. What, the wheels might be different?
You know what's going to happen is, like, if he said when he told his mom this, she laughed. And she goes, yeah, that's not you. Like, that's not what you really want. He goes, I know. Like, he doesn't really want that. He just, he wants it because he can't have it right now.
Right.
He's like, oh my God, I pigeonholed myself into this relationship. What if this girl has all of this experience? I should be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, he's trying to keep up with me. But like, the thing, because he feels like he's not enough for me in the bedroom. That's what he says. And, like, I love sleeping with him.
Why does he think that? Did you tell him you like sleeping? You like sleeping
every
with
day.
him?
It's like
he...
he like needs all this validation, and it's exhausting.
Oh, so maybe he's bringing that baggage from somewhere else, though.
Yeah, he told me he thinks he's not big enough, and I was like, where did that come from?
Right.
Nothing has ever come out of my mouth that would have to say that. I really do. Like, our bedroom life is awesome when it's happening.
Right.
But it's like lately it hasn't been happening because he has these like mood swings.
Right.
It drives me
so
crazy.
Yeah. So it sounds to me like this guy in question was just afraid of you on a few different levels.
Right.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Physically, sexually, experience-wise, he was just intimidated on a few different levels.
Yeah, I think he got...
And it finally came to a head.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, because I've been waiting for this, because I think he got real excited at first, because like, the first girl he's liked, the first girl he's been with in years, so he just like, rushed in.
Right.
So what Jess...
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If he decides to come back... and it's real, will you accept him back, or will it be with disclaimers?
This is the problem, is when guys do this and they reject me, like, I'm done. I actually, like, will hate you.
Oh, man.
I get very resentful. Because, like, the way I feel is, it's like, I have supported you for the past few months through all your BS. I've been at the virtual AA meetings with him.
You have?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
He kind of didn't give me an option. He literally handed me a headset, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this too. Right. Didn't really have an option.
He didn't even ask you. He was like, oh, the meeting's coming up. Here you go.
Yeah.
I have a matching his and hers headset.
I know. Because he asked me, and I was like, oh no, babe, like, that's your thing, right? Like, trying to get out of it, like, it's anonymous. I'm not supposed to be in it.
Right.
And he just like gave me the headset, and I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
Then he had a matching his and hers headset.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Right. So it's like, been in the meetings with you. I have supported you. Like, when you're really depressed, I will pump you up. Right. I cheer him up. Like, I have been so supportive through everything. And I'm like, that's how you're going to treat me? You're going to tell me you want to go sleep with other people?
Yeah.
Like, after I have been here for you through the BS that I should have walked away. You know what I mean? Like, I am like, so, it makes me so angry.
I have a funny feeling he's going to come back for sure.
Oh my God, yes. And he's trying to stay in my life, and like, because, we met because he does stuff for my house. And it's like, so he's trying to create more reasons to come back. Like, he's putting a screen door on for me. And I'm like, I go, do it Monday when I'm not home. Because it's like, I don't want to see you.
So he's trying to breadcrumb you just to keep you around
He comes over yesterday.
Yeah.
Because he had left some tools there because he was doing something. And it's like, I stayed in the shower because I just wanted him to like get the tools and leave.
Yeah.
And I look out the window and he's just hanging out on my patio. And I'm like... I guess I have to go outside, say something. And like...
Did you go say hello?
Yeah. And he was like... And he gave me a hug, and he's like, do you want a kiss? And I go, no. I'm so mad at you. I was like, I literally have supported you through everything. Like, you repay me by telling me you want to be with other people. Thanks. Like, not doing that again.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so it's like, it would basically have to be, like, he would have to do what my ex in Boston did after he cheated on me, where he had to stalk me for, like, months because I wouldn't talk to him. Yeah. Like that, yeah. After my door is done Monday.
Yeah, what if he apologizes and say, look... I realized I made a mistake.
It's like when someone cheats on you, it's like it just...
But he didn't cheat yet. He just said he wants to maybe sleep with other people.
It feels the same, though.
Okay.
It's like that betrayal of like, I was loyal to you throughout this whole thing, and now you don't want to be loyal to me. Like, it's like this... It's this, like, BS rejection that I didn't deserve.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, most definitely.
So what Jess said to me, and I'll ask you your opinion on this. Jess, and she actually had said this to me about the guy last summer who jumped in head first and then jumped out quick. Because I'm always wary of that.
Yeah.
But this guy, we weren't together all the time. He's still, a couple days a week. We still had our space too, so it didn't feel unhealthy.
Right.
But Jess said men will jump right in, and then they do this where all of a sudden they'll freak out. And she said it's up to the woman to pace it.
Yeah.
And so this is my opinion to you. This is my question to you, because I feel like this always happens to me.
Because I always say we drive the relationship, but you guys decide the speed.
Right.
We're driving, but yeah.
So I'm because I always leave this feeling like I did something wrong, know, and I'm I'm not calling him. I never call him. I wait for him to call me every day. If he doesn't, I don't talk to him that day.
Yeah.
I don't ask him to hang out. I wait for him to ask me.
Yeah.
So I'm still letting him lead, and I feel like I'm doing everything right, but this still happens. So it's what do women need to do to prevent this from happening? Do we need to really just make up? No, I can't hang Tuesday. I have plans.
Yeah, I mean,
really slow it down.
Maybe, and I was gonna say, be with a guy that's on your level.
Right.
Period. On every aspect of your life, because someone on your level is not going to be intimidated by you in the bedroom. It's not going to be, what else did you say? It was something else. The experience. Not going to be intimidated by the experience.
Right.
He's not going to be intimidated by your possessions. Like a guy on your level. He's not going to be intimidated by your looks.
Well, I do think men have that. It's that quick fear once you start to get serious of losing your independence, losing your options, right? Because I think that's a scary thing for a lot of men.
But not all of us, because we, especially if you're emotionally available and you'd like to be with one good person.
Right. But I think you're a very monogamous person.
Right.
I think a lot of guys get freaked out by monogamy.
Yeah, but if I'm just talking about the men in my circle, right? If I could talk about Crispy, Mark, T, myself. I mean, all the guys, Tim. I mean, we all like the fact that Josh at the gym. We all like the fact that we have one solid woman.
Right.
And these are all guys that I'm talking about that are not. Where we don't feel as if we've lost our independence. I mean, we've had both sides, and we value the great woman.
Yeah.
And we value the great woman being in our life. You know what I mean?
But do they ever have a freak out when it starts to get serious?
No.
No.
Not at all. These are all men who are either married and or in serious relationships or engaged.
Okay.
And have no problem with it.
Because even my ex here did that. That was about 3 to 4 months in. That was a little later, but he did have that and he was a very monogamous person too. But I was the first real serious girlfriend he had since his divorce. But he'd been divorced 4 years,
Yeah.
But he still, I remember, got distant about maybe 3 to 4 months in, and I was what's going on? And he started making up stuff in his head to have doubts, because that's what men will do. It's I just, you remember I told you you sleep late and you smoke pot and I have kids. He started making up stuff that to distance himself, maybe
we're trying to rationalize it.
Maybe we don't have a future, but then it was fine. Then he comes back around. My ex came back around in Boston. They always come back around. Usually. Yeah. But it's just this weird freak out where they all of a sudden pull away, and I'm and I feel what did I do wrong? Am I doing something wrong? I'm just picking the wrong people, I guess.
They're just, and I'm telling you, and as far as the independence thing is concerned, I mean, I'm going to give you a good example. The difference between a secure, strong woman who we appreciate and one that's just the opposite. My current girlfriend now, Lisa, I went to the winery with Crispy last Thursday. Didn't even tell her I was going. Didn't even say, hey, I'm headed to the winery. Just have a good rest of your day. Nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Was there already, told I was there. She didn't ask me not one thing. Not one question.
Yeah.
Not even didn't even question it.
She's doing her own thing.
She's a secure woman.
Right. Oh,
like
I'm the same way too.
strong
Yeah.
Leo, like
Yeah.
secure, didn't even care.
Right.
Whereas the dentist I was with would have been mad that I even went.
That's bananas.
Yeah, and if I was there, was mad that I'm telling her that I'm there after I've gotten there.
Right.
I mean, it's literally night and day.
Yeah.
So I think going back to the independence thing, I think if we feel as if you're trying to take away our independence is when we reject.
And that's what he's basically saying is like he feels like I'm taking away his independence.
How have you been cool about it?
I'm like, how? I literally don't
I think
ask
he's
you to
using it
hang
as
out
an excuse, yeah.
or don't call you. Yeah, he's just making up. He's making up stuff in his head that doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
He's like freaking himself out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I think is he's afraid of you, or he's intimidated by all those things we spoke about. And he's just using that as his rationalization and his excuse instead of just manning up and saying, I have an awesome woman.
Right.
She's a little more experienced than me.
Yeah.
She's great in the bedroom.
Right.
But let me man up and handle this thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I think is going on.
And you know he's going to be like on a good mood swing one day and be like, I messed everything up. What am I doing?
That's what I think. I'm dead serious, Rach.
So to wrap this up in a nice little bow, I have a date tonight.
Oh. High five. Good for you. Who's the date with tonight?
Ryan. So he lives in Orange County, and I was like, perfect, because I passed through there on my way back.
Right.
So this is so funny. I was so angry.
So you're going to meet him after we shoot today?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it might just be quick, because I think he's going on like a nighttime mountain biking ride or something.
Okay.
But, so this is so funny. Of course, I haven't checked my dating apps in months, because I've been in a relationship. And then 2 nights ago when all this happened with him, it was funny because at first I was okay. And I was just like, you know what? If you need to go experience people, go do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know what you're going to do. You're going to do exactly what my ex did. And you're going to not do it. And you're going to come back around. But cool, I'll let you figure that out, you know?
Right.
So I was fine when we were together. And then I woke up at like 3 a.m. And I couldn't fall asleep till like 6 a.m. Like I was fuming mad. So I'm just like, is this guy kidding me right now? Like he's going to do this after all the crap he put me through. So I was just like, I couldn't sleep. So I checked my Bumble. And I had all these messages from this guy that I had talked to back in January.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, I was like excited about him. I'm like, oh, he totally looks like my type. We exchanged like a few sentences and then he just like disappeared. He's probably dating somebody or whatever. And this was in January. So I look and I have messages from him from like end of May, beginning of June, middle of June, and he's like, "Hey, I'm in the neck of your woods. Do you want to meet up? Hey, you doing anything good this weekend? Hey," and he's literally just keeps hitting me up, and I was like, "Oh my God, I liked this guy." Yeah. So I wrote him back and I was like, "Hey, I'm so sorry, I haven't checked this app in months." I said, I'm going away this weekend, but I'm actually going to be in your neighborhood tomorrow. And he's like, yeah, he goes, I'd love to, I'm supposed to go on this like bike ride, but he goes, I'd love to like say hi before I go. So he's been texting me like all last night, all today.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I told him I'll hit him up when we're done.
Yeah.
And, like,
let's see if this one is not afraid and he's.
Yeah.
Well,
just can't wait to tell the other one I went on a date.
Are you going to tell him?
Absolutely.
Serious? How do you think he's going to respond?
If it's after he puts my screen door on, don't care. I want him to eat it. I'm so vengeful.
You're going to wait until he puts the screen door on?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I want to make sure he does it.
Right.
I'm not paying him for it, you know?
That's so
and he got
funny.
a custom made for me and everything, so
That's so funny.
Yeah, I can wait till that's done.
Yeah, honestly, Rach, with you, I think it's just the wrong guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because had you met one of my friends that was your type, you would still be with that person right now. I'm talking about all the people, guys that I know here in wine country. You and they would still be together. You would still be with the person.
I know. Well,
because these are solid dudes that I know. Like,
I know. Well, I've dated solid dudes that did this though. It was just like the momentary freak out at like the 2-month mark, and then came back around. So I'm just trying to figure out like how to avoid that in the future.
It's nothing you're doing wrong.
I know.
It's just them.
Like,
you can't blame yourself.
I know. Well, we did rush in really quick, so I'm like, I think I need to not, because like think about it. When I was the whole time I was in Arizona, he was like living at my house. Like he stayed at my house every night. He's like getting my mail for me. So that is kind of quick for like 2 months in to him to be like, he's like doing his laundry. You know what I mean? He comes over, does his laundry. So it was like instant relationship.
So do you think you just wait it out longer next time?
Yeah, I think I need
stuff
to.
like that?
I think I need to get better about pacing it.
Okay.
You know, because it always feels fine in the moment until I back off, and then I'm sitting over here like, oh, this is happening again. Like, So yeah.
So maybe that's one note you can change.
Yeah, I think I need to like be patient too,
and then see how it pans out. You know, and it's true.
Because it goes back to like when we talked about playing dating games, right? And you said like there's an art to creating a relationship, and I feel like I'm also rushing in too soon with them, instead of pacing it a little bit better. Right.
Yeah. There you go.
You know?
So maybe that's a change you make in the future and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should blame yourself though, or think you're doing something wrong. I mean,
I quoted you.
I mean, besides the pacing it, I personally think you're doing fine. And even if it's not paced correctly too, if it's the right person, it'll still work out. Yeah. Believe it or not.
It's like if we have a good connection, you shouldn't just like freak out.
Right.
You should be happy with me, you know?
Exactly.
I know. I quoted you the other day because so it's so funny. This happened like the same week too, where it's like all of a sudden I was just like over him and I wasn't feeling it. And the friend that I always talk about, she had met this guy who at the time was married. This was like 6 months ago at a friend's cookout, and they like really connected. And all of a sudden, his wife shows up, and she had no idea he was married. But their mutual friend was like they're in the process of like separating, it's not lasting. So recently she just saw him on Hinge. They matched, and he was like, I actually messaged you on Facebook. He was trying to get a hold of her because he's like, I remembered you. So they started dating. But this guy, he keeps talking about sex, and like, because she didn't sleep with him the first date, but she was like, you know, I want you like the second date. I just want to make sure everything went well, and it did. And he was really nice. He sent her a birthday gift. He was like, I'm not dating anyone else. Like, he really likes her. Date number 2, she's like, all he talked about the whole time was how much sex we could be having sex. And I was like, Imani says women don't want to be involved in their own seduction.
They don't.
And she was like, that's the best quote ever.
They don't.
So it's so funny because this happened the same week. I went to her place and I go, I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm just like not into my guy anymore. Like this week something switched in me. She went out with this guy and she goes, Rach, I don't know what's going on with me, but same thing. She goes, she was so in love with this guy, and all of a sudden she's like, I'm not feeling it. The more he talks about sex, the more I don't want to do it. Right. And I was like, because that's what Imani always says. That it like freaks you out. And that's what happened with him and I too, because when he has these mood swings, he doesn't want to sleep together. And I finally had to say something about it. Well, he brought it up, and I was like, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, it bothers me because at first it's like we were doing it every day, you know what I mean, all the time. And now it's like you're staying over, and I'm not getting anything out of it. You know what I mean? You're taking up space. Paying rent. So, and he
pay the toll.
And he was, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, it does bother me. And he's like, and he got like really defensive. He was like, you never said that before. So then he said the other day, he goes, the more you talk about like the sex, the less I want to do it. Oh, it was like, oh, am I? So I guess I'm doing the same thing to him, where if I tell him I want it, then he doesn't want to. It's like a weird rebellious thing,
But he's just afraid though, because men only react like that when they're like afraid of something when it comes to sex. Yeah. Because we don't have a problem with a woman bringing it up. It's usually the other way around.
Right. Well, I'm gonna bring it up. You're not.
Me, you know? Right, just man up. If you're not bringing it up, man up. I remember when I was with the dentist, she tried to accuse me of that, and I actually created a sexual log, I think I told you, and wrote it down every time we did it, because she tried to accuse me of not doing it often. I said, you've lost your mind. Oh my God. So I literally started writing it down, writing who initiated everything, and I would show her. Now, you saying, like, what do you mean? You're wrong. Look at these dates. And she'd be like, oh, you're right. You know what I mean? That's what I had to do to her.
So funny.
You know what I mean?
On Wednesday, we did missionary.
Right. Right. And I initiated. Right. Sometimes you have to do it like that, right? When you're being accused of something you know you're not doing, it's like, come on. you know? So, yeah, man. What else you got on this? You want to move on?
I'm going to wrap it up and say, for all you ladies out there, if your man has suddenly pulled away, or if you feel him pulling away, I think you need to match that energy and pull back also.
Right. The law of least attract. Yeah. I agree. That's a good one.
Give them space, pace it.
Yep.
I would say pace it from day one. If the man is trying to jump in and stay at your house all the time.
Yeah, pace it from day one.
Tell him, no, you're busy. Even if you're not busy, you're busy. And I hate to say that because it sounds like a game, but it's true.
But there's an art sometimes. Right. Sometimes you have to implement the art. You do.
Yeah, because otherwise they get freaked out. But good note is if they pull away, they usually will come back around. If you have a real connection, I think they'll come back.
I agree.
Yeah. Might be too late. You might be over it.
Yeah.
You might have a date tonight, but.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree.
Okay.
I completely agree. Right. Yeah, women, and when guys pull away, it's usually something with them.
Yeah.
Probably not something with you. That's what I want to say from the male perspective.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, guys, that's our show. Thanks for tuning back in with us in the studio. If you watch us on YouTube, everyone else, they've still been listening to us and it's been the same, you know.
More.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
More people, yeah.
Yeah, but if you watch us on YouTube, as you can see, we're back in the studio. It's nice to be back. It is Relationships, Romance, and Propaganda podcast with Imani, Shakur, and Rachel K. Burke. And it's rptalktruth@gmail.com if you want to email us something. And everything will be in the description. Don't forget to follow us on social media, and we'll see you next week. Good show.
Yeah. Thanks for
Peace. Oh, yeah, most definitely.